Hey BCAT family, it's Ms Deja here and welcome back to How Real Can You Get, our realistic drawing class. As always, I hope that you are all having a wonderful day and you are all staying safe and healthy. In this lesson, I'm just going to quickly give you a demonstration and go over shading form. So before in our first lesson, we learned how to utilize the use of small lines and quick lines to build up shadow in a form that we have drawn. In this lesson, I'm going to demonstrate how to build up shadow and how to create that 3D look that I'm going for by knowing key terms such as light, shadow, cast shadow, form shadow, and Terminator. So in this lesson, you will be able to understand what these words mean in art and apply it to the drawings that you create so that you can get that 3D realistic effect that you want. So let's get started. As you see, I've started off with a sketch of a spear, or really it's more like a egg shape with a cast shadow. You can choose wherever you would like for your light to be sourced and where that cast shadow will then be in contrast to it, or you can follow along with this tutorial. It's completely up to you, whatever you are most comfortable with. So I'm going to quickly go over some terms so that you have a better understanding of shading and shadow and light, and you will find that not all shadow is dark. There are some light areas and gray areas in between that. Even in the darkest of shadows, you will find a piece of light in it. So in this tutorial, I'm hoping that you guys learn a little bit more about shadow, light, cast shadow, highlights, center lights, midtones, all of that, all of these terms and what they mean in art, so that you can apply it successfully to the artwork that you create in the future. Now, what is a shadow? Do we know this, exactly by definition? We know that it's a dark projection of, what we cast when the light hits us in a certain way and we're up against a lighter colored wall, such as white or light blue. But the definition of a shadow is a dark area where light from a light source is blocked by an opaque object. So it occupies all of the three-dimensional volume between an object with the light in front of it. The cross-section of a shadow is a two-dimensional silhouette or a reverse projection of the object blocking the light. Now, light in art is very important. Lighting makes the image appear to jump off your paper or your canvas, and it gives the scene a three-dimensional feel. Lighting can also highlight the intended texture of elements within the composition. The Terminator, or Bedbug Line, is the area where the form transitions from light into shadow. So as you see on my paper, I have drawn a curved line in the middle of my dark and my light. That is where the Terminator is located. It occurs where the light rays from the source are tangent to the edge of the form. If it's a soft indirect light, the transition from light to shadow at the Terminator will be more gradual. Now, the form shadow, which you see labeled and located a little bit underneath where I have pointed out where my shadow is located, is the shadow on a subject on the side that is opposite of the light source. It is lighter than a cast shadow because it's created by light not reaching around the object, rather than a shadow being thrown by the object where it directly blocks the light source. So our cast shadow, which is the flat form that I have drawn underneath our sphere or egg shape, is not a solid shape but varies in tone and value. The farther a cast shadow is from the object, the lighter and softer and less defined becomes its edges. Our halftones, which is located between the light and the shadow, is most simply understood as being part of the illuminated side of an object, neither in the highlight or in the shadow. Because they are a part of the lights, they are a part of a family of values that is always, remember this, always lighter than anything in the shadow. Now, after our halftone, which comes directly after our Terminator or Bedbug Line, is when the planes of the object begin to hit the light the most. When it begins to do this, it is called the center light. The center light is different from the highlight, which is the lightest part of the object reflecting directly off of the light. So our highlight is that small little circle that you see located in the top middle part of our sphere. The highlight again is the lightest spot or area as in a drawing or a painting, or it is also known as any of several spots in a drawing or a painting that receives the greatest amount of illumination. So there we have it, guys. We have learned all of our terms that is important when creating shadow. I hope that now that you guys know these terms, or if you already have known these terms and you're just getting a quick little refresher on them, I'm hoping that you will now be able to successfully begin to start shading your objects now that you know a little bit more about light and shadow and everything in between. Now, as always, I'm going to leave you guys with the challenge because I know that you love my challenges. It's nothing too difficult. I just want you to find an image or object or a person that has a good contrast between light and dark. It's very important for you to be able to use what you have learned in this quick lesson. Something that has a good foundation of midtones and highlights and cast shadow or shadow, of course, as well. And draw it based off of what you now know makes up a shadow, instead of drawing and creating shadow based off of what you think a shadow should look like. So just something simple and fun. It doesn't have to be hyper realistic. This is something that I would like for you to do to just daily work on perfecting your craft and becoming more comfortable and familiar with it. So good luck, guys, with this, and I would love to see. Email me everything that you create from these challenges. I would love to see it. So again, good luck with the challenge, and I will see you guys in the next one.